Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Algorand. This is going to be a lower time frame video. A higher time frame video is up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. So within previous videos, what we've been talking about is the idea that we have this as a bigger 5-wave move here, looking to complete a sequence. Now, within this idea here, what we're saying is there is potential that there could be a triangle here, A, B, C, D, E, in which case this could be our 5th wave, which could have actually completed already. Now, until we actually see a move above this 1475, I am going to still be on the lookout here that even if we do see a push to the upside here, this could still be within that 4th wave, and then we could still see a 5-wave move to the downside. We have come down into the target level here, but this is also a target level for an overshooting B wave. So if this is something like A, B, and C, we could potentially look to actually push back up into these higher zones. So within that idea of the triangle, like I said, we're looking at this as A, B, C, D, E in this area. And what we were saying is that if this is a 5th wave, potentially it could look to complete here. Alternatively, we could look to extend. Now, within the idea of having an extension, what we need to be careful of for as long as we actually stay below this 188 region is we could still develop a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. So we need to take this high here effectively of this 1193 to get more indication that this move is actually completed and it's not extending from this point. Until we do that, we need to be very careful here. If we start to get bigger impulsive structure to the downside, we could be looking for a move down towards this 0552, in which case we would then be expecting an additional 4th and a 5th wave, which means that this move could potentially end towards this 0533 to this 0488. However, now, like I said, there is still the potential here that we could either A, complete into this low, or B, be looking at a bigger corrective structure. If we are looking at a bigger corrective structure, what this could mean is that we could actually start to see a C wave developing to the upside where this move becomes A, B, and we get this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, the most common target area that we'd be looking for would be this 1618 to this 1236. And this would be because we took this A wave origin, what we'd then be looking for is the potential of an expanding flat, and this is the most common target. We would also have to be careful here towards this 121, which would align with some of these levels over here, in which case that could be potentially the target area for a running flat. But looking at the structure here, if we are going to get a 5-wave move up here, it's more likely we're going to test this higher zone. The alternative here is that if we do get a 5-wave move to the upside, what we could get is that this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we'd be looking for 3 waves down. If we hold support above this low, we could potentially then look to rally again and actually form a bigger structure. Like I said, it's possible that 5th wave could complete into this low. We don't have enough, confidence here in this move because all we have is 3 waves here. If we do find support above this low, we could potentially continue to rally here and still look to push up. So we're going to be discussing that idea now of actually having a 5-wave move off of this low. Now, within the idea of having this as a 5-wave move, there's 2 ways that I'm looking at this currently. So we're actually going to come in a bit closer here. Now, the way that I was looking at this originally is we said that we could potentially look at this as 1, and then this was a bigger A wave, B wave, C wave to the downside. Now, if that was the case, we said we need to be on the lookout here that we could look to rally to the upside, and we did get a move up here. Now, with this idea of this move to the upside here, if we continue to hold this 0873, I'm going to be on the lookout here that we could still be forming another 1 and 2 here before we start to see a bigger rally to the upside. 1245 would be our current target for this 1.618. If we do see something like this where this becomes 1, 2, and then we see this bigger rally for a 3rd wave, we'd be looking for this 4th and this 5th. Now, this would then actually look to push us past that original target that we had here of this 1618 level, which would mean that there's a potential here that this could become then 1, 2, all of this would become 3, we get 4 and 5. So this could be looking to actually rally a lot higher in this way. So because of that, I'm just looking out for the potential to find support again here in this 0952 to this 0906. If we do find support in this area, we could potentially look to rally, and we have come down enough now. If I throw this fib on here, we can see we've just come past that 1-to-1 and we've had a reaction. There is potential here. We could see one more drop, in which case I will be watching this 0933 to this 0928 to see if we get a reaction around these lows again here, which would be looking to sweep these more local lows here, but then potentially retesting some of these areas. Like I said, if we start to lose this 0906, it becomes less likely we're going to see this playing out to the upside. Now, this would be if this is going to actually push up in an impulsive way here. Now, it is also possible that within this structure, like I said, this is 1 and 2, and we're looking to rally within this idea of being within a wave 2 here. Once again, that's going to be our support zone. If we are looking at this wave 2 as potentially incomplete, what we need to be looking out for here more locally on the smaller time frame is that this move could actually still be incomplete here. Now, if we're counting this move from this high over here, then potentially we have already looked to complete this as a double 5-wave move. Now, if we are looking at this as 1, 2, however, what we could then have is that as long as we fail to break back above 0984, we could still potentially look for a decline here in the 5th wave, which could look to push us towards the 0934 to the 0923. If we continue to push down like this, then what we'd be looking for is the possibility that this A wave is actually over here, and that until we actually break back above 1017, there is potential that this move could become a little bit more complex here, and we could still move a little bit sideways before having another sell-off here. Still looking at this idea of the wave 2, where this could then look to push us down towards this 0.618 area to the 786. So this is why I'm going to give this a little bit of space to see what happens. You know, we are having a little bit of a push to the upside here, but it's still just in 3 waves. We'd need to start seeing a move above the level of this 0981 to have more confidence that this is developing into a 5-wave move. And until we actually do that, you know, we'd need to just be careful that this could still be a 4th and a 5th to the downside here, where we have one more drop. If we do get that additional drop here, it is also possible that this could then become A, B, C, where we have this as a 4th and a 5th, and maybe we push down towards this 50% level here. If that's the case, then we'd be looking for the rally from that point. The idea would be we'd need to hit this 1618 of this move to this upside to the low, and then projecting this 1618 for this to confirm the wave 3. Now, it doesn't always have to hit 1.618, but it is the most common target area, so that's why we look for it in that way. Now, it is also, however, possible that if this move fails to develop in that simple impulse, I haven't written off the idea that we could be forming something along these lines. Now, this would be looking at this as a diagonal pattern here, where this becomes 1, 2, 3. We'd be looking for 3 waves down, and then another 3 waves to the upside for this wave 5. Now, this wave 5 would potentially be looking to challenge this top trend line again, though it does not have to. Wave 5s within a diagonal, particularly a contracting diagonal, could also look to actually fall short of these targets, but it is more common to see an interaction with this. Now, it is possible, like I said, we could complete into this low, in which case that 4th wave could already be done. Or alternatively, I'm going to be looking towards that 0.618 to that 0.65 if we do have one more push to the downside. If we do get this push down here, then I want to see whether we get 3 waves to the upside here, or whether we start to get 5 waves to the upside. If we start to get 5 waves up, then potentially we could be looking at the next leg of this, where this is actually 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to see that bigger rally. Now, within this, if we do see this diagonal, I'm going to be watching this 0.786 level. We don't want to lose this if we're going to be looking at this potentially as either 1, 2 or A, B, and then C towards 1119, or alternatively 1.618 would be here at this 1311. That would be based off of coming down to that 0.786, but obviously it would depend on how deep we would trace for this wave 2. Coming in here and having a look at the daily CPR lines here, we can see that we are battling with our central lines here. If we continue to hold this level of this 0958, then potentially we could see a rally up towards this 0984. If we move above that level, other targets for today is 1012, 1034, and this 1062. If, however, we either move up here and reject, or we just reject off of these central lines, I will then be watching for the potential of a retest of this 0934 level, 0912, 0884 and this 0862 as potential downside targets for today. Those could align with having that additional drop. Now, looking at the weekly pivot points, we actually printed a higher CPR line here. We did come back down and we found support temporarily, at least on this S1 line. If we continue to hold this S1 line, we have the potential to see price come back up and retest this 0988 to this 10 cent region. If we do fail to get back above this, other targets for this week could be this 0894 and this level here of this 0851. If we do, however, see a reversal up here and we start to take these central lines, find support above these, I will be looking for the next targets to the upside for this week of 1056, 1096, and this higher level here of this 1158. So going to be keeping an eye on these zones. We do have some target boxes in this area as well, where we do have some daily naked points of control lower down here at this 1028, which we've already touched once. Now we do also have this 1060, which hasn't been touched, and the potential of having an SR flip through this important zone here. So if we do see price move back up towards this 1054 zone, I'm going to be watching out for that possibility of that SR flip there, and then that potential to actually see price break down. Now moving over here on to the monthly pivots, we can see that we came up into these central lines, and now we've actually come back down and retested the lower level of this. If we do continue to push up here, 1081 and this 10 cent region could be potential resistance for us. If, however, we manage to push back above these lines, targets to the upside for this month is 1140, 1355, and this 1509. Now we don't have a lot of time left this month, so we need to just bear that in mind. Alternatively, if we start to lose these central lines and see a sell-off, 0771 is a potential bounce zone. Other targets would be 0608 and this 0399 if we do see price continuing to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.